couple meetings coming up. I think you've seen some of the emails. Town of Mexico's asked to have a meeting, and the town of Dixfield. So those are coming up in the next couple of weeks, I guess.
All right, Dixfield for,
Thank you.
the 28th, I've got it on my calendar. The 28th, are just asking for some input. I'm not sure exactly what it is. We're planning on attending. And I think David had responded asking to make sure that Beth, the treasurer, was there as well. So if
In Mexico, we haven't set a date yet for that.
in Mexico, we haven't set a date yet with that. I wanted to meet with you and was hoping to today, but here we are already. But at some point, yeah, we'll, we need to sit, Raquel, and, Canning, Selectman Canning have reached out and just asked us to get, them some preliminary numbers, for both 4 and or 3-man. They've looked at both the contracts, the Bethel and the Dixfield, so they want 2 different things, but, the sheriff and I need to sit down and discuss what's realistic, for them. And I think we need to get some input, so it's just initial. But, once we do that, she said something to me, they wouldn't be looking to do anything, until next, budget year, but, wanted to see what we had to offer.
They're on a fiscal year, I think, aren't they?
I do believe so.
I don't know if it's March till,
I think it's July.
April till March.
She threw out something about June, so she threw out something about June, and I think they're just trying to give themselves as much time as they can in order to reignite their police department and have that, and I don't know how successful they'll be on that.
Rumford doesn't have any interest in. Wow, that's too bad.
No, we only had a murder, a gross sexual assault, and a drive-by shooting in one, 2-day period in Mexico, so. But as I told them originally, I told you before, is they've asked for numbers, and I told them they could just take a look at the cost of the Bethel and Dixfield contracts, and it would be identical. That was, of course, last year.
I wouldn't say that.
It would be almost identical. For a 4-person and 3-person, it would be identical. But for 2025, it'll depend on what the budget is. So for raises and expenses, so.
Yep.
But that was last summer when they asked, so I said it was a starting point was that, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a very
good starting
interesting.
point. Okay, what else?
I think we went over everything else. I'm sure we're missing a few things, but I guess we got a couple other items on the agenda.
Yeah, outside work request.
Yeah.
For, Deputy Gailey.
Not gonna affect, I didn't think it would. He's not the first one on Chevy to do it.
What's your pleasure?
I move that we approve the outside employment request from Michael Daly with Ice Engineering Service.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Any other questions, comments? Anything else? No? Call for vote, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. Then we have review and consider bid for purchase of vehicles. And, go on that in your packet.
Yep, so either way,
This
Cannon B, that we discussed about getting rid of these vehicles, trying to get more money out of these vehicles. We got this bid, from BNC Auto, specifically Chris Davis, sent me a letter, he had gone up and viewed the vehicles, and there's actually.
Yeah, so we took one vehicle, I spoke with Zane about it, we took one of the vehicles over to Region 9 for the high school program over there, so they've got one of the vehicles over there, so that's not included in the bid. It's there, they're gonna use it for a while, service it, they've taken it apart, put it together, and when we get it back, it'll be in better shape than it was, and we can dispose of it at a later time, but I think this bid is about $5,000 more than what we had
For the 5,
for the 5.
and he's only bidding on 4.
So we'll still have one more cruiser at some point.
So it's 5,000 more plus we keep a cruiser.
Because plus we keep a cruiser. I thought in looking at it, it was a pretty good deal, and I guess we had talked about taking a couple of these vehicles to the auction. A lot of those things are unknown, and I think we were kind of looking, if everything went really well at the auction, we'd get about $5,000 more for them, and that was 5 vehicles, so we're getting this bid for 4 vehicles. So I think it makes a lot of sense, in my mind.
And it was what you were, it is what we were hoping for then.
It is what we were hoping for in the end, actually more than what we were hoping for, because we still have the one vehicle, which may get us another $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, depending on that, once it comes back. Yep.
Yes, Chris, we get a commission on the sales of those vehicles, please,
We might.
That's good, you can joke about that.
Yeah, we don't see any, recourse by doing this with them. Okay,
This is a legitimate, he went down and he looked at them, he offered us this amount of money. We had been encouraging to try to get more money out of this, and we looked at other options. I think, that this is a good offer for these vehicles. And I think we have the ability to liquidate them to him.
so it's pretty standard and, shouldn't be any recourse then.
I don't believe so, sir.
Okay.
No.
So
It's a pleasure.
if this is approved, would they be interested in doing this on, another occasion too?
Yeah, they absolutely would. It seemed like he was interested in, being notified when we have bids and so forth like that. And keeping this, personally, said to me that he's, open to some of these business adventures, to putting more autos through PNC Auto.
We didn't do the original bids that went out when Nicole and I did. We kind of stuck with what we knew for people that bid before, some of the bigger dealerships that we purchased from. So a lot of the smaller dealers originally didn't get that. So maybe we'll look at, in the future, next year, we'll look at maybe advertising on the
More,
website or
yeah,
put something with the paper
But-
so that it gets.
Probably ought to be, at
That was
least
the only
countywide.
thing I can think of that someone might say is that this wasn't open to like the public, but it was a smaller, but we did put it out to bid for other dealerships,
Yeah,
so.
so for dealerships, yeah, we promote to anyone that we could,
Yeah.
we called dealerships, I mean, I did,
It was-
anyone we could find to put a bid in.
And
we
and
only
Nicole
had
followed the
2
standard
bids.
procedures, so.
Yeah.
And there was really very little interest, and I think like the offer that we got, from one of the other car companies was a really low ball. Like, if we gotta take them, we'll take them.
So that was a big deal, was.
Yeah, yes,
And
yes.
one bid was 15,000, one was 20, and now we got 25,000.
At least it was offered out so we don't go into scrutiny for saying, oh, those are former employees,
It went out to public bid, and,
Yeah.
it was, we opened the bids and, everybody knows that we didn't accept the bids, and we tried to find other options, but.
So we put it up to bigger deals, but that's a kind of recourse that I was thinking about. Do we think that some of the other small dealers might come back and say that?
It
We
was
didn't
in,
get an
it was
opportunity?
put up to bid, it was in the minutes, it was posted, it was a public meeting, so,
Okay.
I mean, you can only
Oh,
beg, you can only beg, you can only beg so much.
Only cover yourself at a minimum, yeah.
Plus, they should take a little bit of ownership too, if they are interested in buying their cars, to call them, find out, hey, when they coming up.
Oh, this way,
Right.
show some more interest.
Yeah, exactly, get more competition.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, accept the bid.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. What else? Nothing doing on our end.
I think just the executive session is the only,
We want to do that now?
I think there's a time that we had for,
We were waiting till 3
3
o'clock, trying to get to 3 o'clock, we're 2:51, just to let the board know.
Executive session to discuss
the union contract.
okay, so it's that one, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Is there a motion?
Well, I didn't know whether you wanted to wait for, well, we can go in, but Matt's calling in at 3,
Yeah, he might be available 10 minutes early, so it's not that bad. Yep.
so I guess that's fine to go in.
What, Mr. Pat was calling in or not?
He is,
Did you wanna wait for that?
He's not reliable. Sorry, I'm joking,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, we were saying if we went in early, we could
Off
probably just
the
call
record.
him and he'll probably be ready, so.
Okay,
We're only
how about
doing-
put fireworks then?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good plan.
So I think what, next Thursday? Friday. No,
Thursday morning.
this Thursday.
Okay, and have you done, you okay covering for Tyler and or, Richard?
We'll get a check, I guess. Do you know
Yeah.
what they're working?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I am, 10 AM, and I usually get here a little after 9, so they can show up.
Yeah, and they, if they know too, they gotta speak up too, cause,
Yeah, I need to remember, I was at the wrong head, I need to come up with a little bit more list of things that we've been doing. I feel like after Allison goes on for all of that, but,
Thank you, Steve.
okay.
Were you good? Okay.
Yeah, anyway you are,
No,
yeah.
because we're getting a lot of things.
A lot of our stuff happens throughout the meeting, that's why we don't have, yeah.
After county commissioners meetings,
Cause I wanna, I wanna say, hey, we did all this.
civic engagement.
Payroll, but I'm gonna. That's
Exactly
gonna be
right.
its own presentation later.
Exactly, yeah, no,
You know,
you're
so I
fine.
don't wanna hit on all these things and then,